everyone, and welcome back to VFXY once again. So finally, I'm starting our Nuke Beginner to Advanced series. So this was the result, and you voted out loud. And as per your vote, I'm starting this series, and hopefully, this will be very useful for everyone. So as I mentioned that this will be a beginner to advanced Nuke series. So I'm going to cover each and every detail, each and every option which I know, and you have to be patient with us because this will be a beginner series and slowly it will be a advanced series as well. So hopefully I will divide this into 3 or 4 phases, and it will take some time to complete this series. So you have to be with us. Before starting anything, I will request everyone to please like this video, share this video, and if you are new to this channel, please don't forget to subscribe. And also don't forget to hit the bell icon so that you will have a notification whenever I am uploading any video. So without wasting any time, let's get started this series. So as everybody knows that Nuke is a node-based software, and this is a industry standard software for compositing. And this software was earlier used by a company called Digital Domain, and it was developed by Phil Beffrey and Bill Spizak in 1993 under Digital Domain. Earlier it was a Digital Domain's property to use this for compositing, but in 2002 Nuke was available for public uses, and in 2007 Foundry took over Nuke from Digital Domain. This was a brief history of Nuke. Hopefully you are already aware about this thing as well. In today's session I am going to introduce Nuke, and this will be a Nuke interface video. So let's jump to screen and let's see how Nuke works. Okay, whenever you are opening Nuke for the first time, this will be the interface. So your Nuke's interface is divided mainly into 3 parts. First one is viewer, second one is properties panel, and third one is node graph, right? Apart from these 3 panels, also we are having our curve editor and dope sheet. We are going to see curve editor and dope sheet in some time. Also we are having our toolbar, which is like this. Whatever tool we are going to use in Nuke, they are grouped under this thing, right? So we have multiple groups. We will see one by one. Also we are having our menu bar over here, and apart from our menu bar, we are having our viewer controls over here as well. So these tools are responsible for controlling our viewer, which we are having, right? Also we are having our timeline controls or playback control over here. So later on in this series I'm going to discuss each and everything, right? In menu bar, if you'll see, I'm having my file which I can take a new comp or open comp or resend, save as, these kind of things we are getting, right? In edit you will have in general thing like cut, copy, paste, undo, duplicate, clone, link, unlink. These are the things which we will get. Also we are having our preferences and project settings. Then workspace, we are having multiple workspace, but you can save it as per a requirement as well. Then also viewer, render, and cache and help. So these are the things which we'll get in menu bar. Also over here, if I'm going to show you, I'm having a few groups, like this is the group of image, and in image if I'm going to click, you will have read, write, profile, UDIMs, and multiple things you will have. So these are the collections or group of nodes, and based upon their nature they are grouped under this category, right? So second one is our draw, then time, then channels and color, filter, keyer, merges, transforms, and so on and so forth. You'll have all these things. Might be you won't find these tools. These are some plugins and then some extra nodes which I have installed, but I'll definitely recommend to install this thing, which is Nuke Survival Toolkit. So this is Nuke Survival Toolkit, and it is very handy if you want to excel in Nuke as well, right? More or less you will have everything. So if you want to add any node in your node graph, it's pretty simple. You have to go in any category which you want to add. Like first thing first, I'm going to add a checkerboard. So I'll go to image, and here I'm having my checkerboard, and I can click over there and you will have your node inside your node graph. Also, if you want to delete any node, just select and hit delete. Another way to add any node is just hit tab and you can type checker. So this is the second way which we can add any inbuilt node, or you can right click, go to category, and you can use checkerboard. So these are the three ways by using them you can add any node. So I'll delete this thing and I'll go to take, might be a constant node, or I can take a checkerboard node, or I can take a color wheel node, or I can take a color bar node. So these are the things which I can use. Also, we can import any file or any footage from our hard drive, but in later sessions, I'm going to show you how we can do that, right? I have my nodes, but I'm not able to see over viewer, because viewer is the place where I am going to see what kind of changes or what kind of work I am doing. Node graph is the area where I am going to do all my work, right, in the form of nodes and connections. And properties panel is the area where I am having all the properties of selected nodes, right? So if you can see, if I'm double clicking over here, my checkerboard is coming over here. So I'll show how we can use our properties panel in some time. Let's understand how we can see any information. Like if I want to see my color wheel, so if we'll see closely in color wheel, I am having a arrow which is output, and in viewer I am having a arrow as well, but in a different shape, and this is input, right? So if I want to see this information, I must connect my viewer to that particular node, and as soon as I'm going to connect this, my information or my node will be visible in viewer, right? Also, if I want to see this information, might be I can disconnect this and I can connect this. So what I am doing, I'm just clicking with my left mouse button. I'm holding my click and dragging it over here. So this is the way how you can connect any node with viewer to see that particular information. Okay, so I have prepared few things, so don't worry, it will be very simple. I have prepared one file so that I can explain interface in a better way. You need not to worry about what kind of nodes I'm using, what kind of merges I'm loading, what kind of grade node is. I'm going to explain each and everything, but just to explain interface, I'm having this file. Okay, so let's understand viewer first. So as I showed you that if I want to see anything, I need to just click my input like this, or if I want to see through this node, I have to select this node and I have to hit 1 on keyboard. So automatically what will happen, your viewer will be connected to that particular node, right? Suppose that I want to see from here as well, so might be you can hit 2 on keyboard. So what will happen, you will have one connection with 1 and another connection with 2 as well. If you want to swap inputs, just you have to hit 1 for previous connection and 2 for this connection as well. Also, if you want to see this at the same time, you have to hit 3 on keyboard. So if you can see, I'm having multiple inputs, like 1 for color wheel, 2 for final output, and 3 for checkerboard, right? So you can do something like this as well. If you want, you can disconnect it. Let's understand how we can navigate in our Nuke scenario, right? If I am going to click middle mouse and drag, I can pan like this. I can pan like this. I can use scroll wheel to zoom in, zoom out like this, or I can use middle mouse, left click and drag left right. I can do zoom in, zoom out as well. Middle mouse, left click, drag, zoom in, zoom out. Like this, right? Also, I can use plus minus button to zoom in, zoom out. I can hit plus on keyboard to zoom in, minus to zoom out. You can see it's pretty simple. Clear? So if something happens like this, and if you want to fit, you have two options to do that. Either you can hit H on keyboard, or you can hit F on keyboard. So might be you can ask why we have two shortcuts for same thing. This is not a same thing. If I am going to fit with H, you can easily see if I am changing this, it's uniformly scaled. Can you see? As I'm changing my interface, it's sticking to the scaling. Can you see that? But if I am fitting it with F, little snappy, can you see? 33%. Like see over here, it's 33% now. And now if I'm changing, it's not doing in between numbers, it's directly jumping to 50 and 100 and so on and so forth, like this. But if I am fitting with H, can you see? It's going to decimals as well, the zoom in percent. Can you see? This is something you have to understand. Another way to fit anything, like just click middle mouse button, automatically it will fit. Can you see? So these are the three ways where we can zoom in, zoom out, and we can use shortcuts to fit our viewer or node graph, right? Okay, now let's understand the viewer control bar, which is this. So basically this is your layer and channels drop down. Later on we are going to see this thing in detail. This is your alpha drop down, means whatever alpha we are going to see, we can change it, but this is your alpha drop down. This is our channels drop down, where we can see our channels individually by red, green and blue, or alpha or luminance. Later on I'm going to explain this in detail as well. Also we are having our viewer LUT drop down. So currently we are having 3 viewers like sRGB, Rec 709, Rec 1886. So this is something we call viewer LUT drop down. Also we are having either a wipe options, like if I have to show you, like if I'm going to change something like this, just I'll hit 1 over here, 2 over here, and I can use wipe, and I am having my wipe options, so I can check like this. Can you see? So this is very handy whenever we will do any kind of changes. So this is quite handy. So I'm going to switch it off, right? Also, I am having viewer controls like gain of viewer. Can you see? I can change gain of viewer and gamma of viewer. So whatever changes I'm doing over here, this is not renderable. This is only for viewing purpose. It won't affect our renders, right? Apart from that, we are having small tools. Like first one is your safe zone. So if I'm going to click, I'm having title safe area. So if you can see over here, I'm having my title safe area. If you are doing any titling, it's recommended that you need to do it inside this box. Also, I'm having my action safe area. If you are having your actions, it's recommended that you need to keep your action within this boundary line, right? Also, I'm having format center. Also, I'm having format, which you can see I'm having a red line over format as well. So this is just if you're doing titling and action safe area you want to use, you can use it. This is pretty simple. Also, I'm using masking ratio. We call it a letterbox as well. So if I'm going to do, we have multiple options. Like I'm having square. You won't be able to see this because it's set to none. If I'm doing lines, if you can see, I'm having line. Also, I will be able to change my ratios as well, like 4:3, like 16:9. I can do half, like transparency will be half, like this, right? Or full transparency will be full. I can change ratios as well, like this, like this. Mostly for films, we are using 2.35:1. So this will be the letterbox which we can use. Another tool is like clipping warning. What clipping warning will do, let me just check. Let me reset it. Need not to worry, I'll explain each and everything. If I'm going to switch on this clip warning, if my values are going beyond 1, it will give us warning. So if I'm going to enable this like exposure, currently I'm not having any kind of warning, but if I'm going to increase my gain, can you see I'm having a zebra kind of lines? That means your values are going beyond 1 somewhere, right? That's why it's showing like you have overexposed things. Also, I'm having button for proxy. So if I'm having or I'm using 4K or 8K, and it's recommended that you can use proxy over here. So as soon as I'm going to enable proxy, you can easily see I'm having half of my resolution like this, 960 540. You can enable it, you can disable it. If you want to control the setting of proxy, you can directly go to edit and project setting, and over here you will have your proxy mode enable or disable. So currently proxy mode is set to scale and proxy scale is 0.5. If I'm going to change it to 0.25, you can see over here the number will change further, like 480 by 270, right? So it's recommended that you have to decide what kind of proxy you are going to use, but by default it will be 0.5 and it will set to scale. If you want, you can set it to format as well. It's all up to you. It's on scale. So you can either enable or disable it from here, or you can enable and disable it from here as well, right? So I hope you have learned something new in today's video, and if you think that you are learning, don't forget to like this video, share this video, and if you're new to the channel, please don't forget to subscribe. With this said, this is VFX Vibe signing off. Have a good day.